All right, everybody. Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta, and
At one Marcus Flowers.
we'd like to thank you for watching and listening to our content. We'd like to thank you even more if you leave a like, a comment,
Subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We need that. Subscription.
Hey, don't forget to share with all your friends and tell us how you feel.
And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you got it from 26 and Glencoe Media Network.
Keep it real.
What is up? What is up? What is up? Y'all know who it is. He who stands above all else. He who shall not be named. Metro Meta, aka Metro Meta 26, aka Morgan Flowers. And I am here with my co-host,
Marcus Flowers, aka Flo, aka call me what you want, just don't call me lazy. It is great to be here.
we are back. 26 and Glencoe is back in 2020, and we are going full force. And we started it off with Dust Off the Cartridge, Volume 3, Episode 17. Let's start it off real hot. We're just coming off from a 3-month break. Marcus, what are you playing right now?
So right now I am playing Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Sword, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I am also I'm playing Mortal Kombat. I am trying to get ready for this Joker patch that drops on the 25th. So I am playing. Those are the games I am currently playing. What are you up to?
So, of course, I'm also playing some Pokemon. I play a little Digimon Cyber Sleuth, and of course, also Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But the game I'm really excited to play, I'm playing it tonight. It is Tokyo Mirage Session FE Encore. Just got released Friday. It's basically a fusion between the SMT and Persona franchises with Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is winning in 2020 right now. It is straight up just doing amazing. I almost didn't get my copy because right after work I drove straight to GameStop. I was like, where's my copy? And they said, oh, you didn't pre-order? We only got like 2 left. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, Nintendo games, you gotta pre-order that. Then I had my heart broken again when I found out I couldn't pre-order the Persona 5 Royal Special Edition anymore. So I might have to see if I can get another one of those. But I'm super excited to be playing this game tonight, and I'm super excited to get into it. You ready?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's start it off with the king of gaming right now. Marcus, I want you to reach into your pocket and toss a coin to your Witcher, because the Witcher series on Netflix has been blowing up from the end of 2019 to 2020. And it's just been reinvigorating the franchise as a whole. 500 new Witcher books are being printed in the US because of demand. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt actually had a higher than ever concurrent player base, beating its player base on launch day, which is crazy for a single player game. And it's just really good to see this franchise really sprout its wings. It's become Netflix's #1 franchise on even 2019, even though it came out at the end of the year. So we're definitely going to see more of The Witcher coming up. And I'm really excited. Marcus, have you watched the series or anything like that?
Yes, and I will say the series is a lot like the game. Boring.
The game is one of the most critically acclaimed games ever. You better check yourself.
The game is boring, so is the show.
The game is not boring. I own the game, Marcus.
Yeah, so you know it's boring.
Yeah, it's not boring. What makes you think it's boring?
The story's not that interesting to me. There's too much lagging on it. The fighting isn't as exciting. It's just boring to me.
As y'all know, Marcus is a avid player of NBA 2020, so put that in your notes. But speaking of the show, they also have a rap version of that song that I really like to hear. So shout outs to The Witcher. Put that out someday. On to the next story, Marcus. I'd like to wish you a merry, merry, merry game delay season. It's coming for everybody. Old Square Enix is out here, and he is delaying every game here from Kingdom Come Final Fantasy Remake has been delayed by a week to April 10th, 2020. The Avengers game that Square Enix was making was delayed till September. And of course, the internet's beloved Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed to September 17th, 2020. Marcus, how you feel about these?
I'm not surprised at all that this is happening, just because Final Fantasy, of course, there's been some problems with that. Avengers, I'm not too surprised. I'd rather them take more time, make sure everything's right, get the kinks out before you before you put out an Avengers game that is malfunctioning. Cyberpunk is also not surprising, just because we haven't really heard anything from the Cyberpunk camp before this delay came out. So it's not too. I wasn't too shocked with any of these releases.
Yeah, especially Avengers, it had that problem with people weren't happy with the stock photo faces that they had at E3. Cyberpunk has been pretty quiet since they had a spectacular E3. They basically set themselves up to be Game of the Year 2020 if they make their goals, and it's probably one of the most ambitious games coming out. Cyberpunk 2077 also coming from the people at CD Projekt Red, the same developers of the Witcher 3 game. So they really like to put ambition in front of their games, which is probably why this game is being delayed. They want it to be as polished and as ambitious as possible. I mean, they put Keanu Reeves in there. One other thing about these delays is there have been some comments from the Cyberpunk developers that still suggest that it has a culture of crunch. People noticed that last year when everybody was upset about how much crunch the gaming industry has, CD Projekt Red was on the top of that list. And they basically just said that there's still going to be crunch even though the game was delayed. And it's sitting right with a certain group of gamers, like hardcore gamers who don't really care and just want this game. But a lot of people have been coming out against this, especially after what happened with BioWare and Anthem. So, Marcus, do you have any feelings about like the crunch system and how it will affect like the game and stuff?
No, I feel like it'll be all right. Like I'm not too high on it, but I think it'll be all right.
The game will be fine. It just sucks that so many people have to go through so much work and so much effort and have so much stress just for us to play a game.
Right.
Especially when this game has been in development for the better part of 5 years. And even still, after the game comes out, CD Projekt Red still is going to make DLC, and their DLC is quite ambitious. They have a multiplayer lined up for 2021, I think, by most suggestions. And there's also rumors that they just cut out a deal with the Witcher creator and brokered that deal to continue making Witcher games or to keep making some sort of Witcher content. So it seems like there's not going to be any rest for any Wicked at CD Projekt Red. So our prayers go out to those people and their families.
Right.
But moving on, did you see the Twitter storm that happened on Thursday, Marcus?
Yes, with Fire Emblem and Smash. I was actually waiting for you to get to this. My only comment on this really is Nintendo said this back in before Smash came out in November of 2018. So this shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody. I will say that the Fire Emblem characters are powered in a way that I do not like. I feel like they're powered too much.
So this is a big problem because the Fire Emblem series, Fire Emblem Three Houses, came out last year, and I played it. It was amazing. It's probably the best game that came out last year for the Nintendo Switch, and that's counting Pokemon. But Fire Emblem as a series hasn't been as popular with even just mainstream Nintendo fans. And so they really get upset when Fire Emblem gets added because they see it as just random characters they don't know anything about. And I think it's just kind of funny because Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of Smash Brothers, has come out favorably and said that this is his favorite series. And so whenever he puts stuff in his game, to me, I see it as him doing the same thing that we do, like talking about games and sharing their content. But even though we do the same thing, it seems like people, because it's a commercial product and they want something else, they don't like it. There were many people who wanted it to be Dante from Devil May Cry. Some delusional people who wanted it to be Master Chief from the Halo series. Some weird people wanted it to be Doom Guy. Like, that's going to add anything. Like, I don't... Like, if you add Doom Guy, you can't add Master Chief because they're basically the same character. Shots fired. I'm standing by that one. But it's really exciting to see this DLC. There were hints from Nintendo that this isn't going to be the last DLC pack. So I'm excited to see what the next 5 DLC characters will be. It's just, for me, it's interesting looking at it because we just had the Pokemon Direct, which we won't talk about here. We have something special planned for that. And then we also had the Smash Direct, and people wanted a core Nintendo Direct. It's just surprising to me that Nintendo is able to just silence an entire industry. Like, this is our day. We're doing a Direct. Not for everything they're doing, but for one game. And there's very few games out there that I could see saying, oh, we're about to do a Direct, and the entire industry would pause and watch at the scale that Nintendo's able to achieve this at. And it's just exciting to see, like, Nintendo flex their muscles, especially going into this next gen.
Right. Before we move on, what do you think the 5 characters to who are next on Smash will be?
That's interesting because we're kind of going into unknown territory. My heart of hearts would want I'd want Sora, but I don't think we're getting Sora. I'd want Sora, maybe a new Pokemon, and probably I'd want somebody from Astral Chain just to give that game a higher profile.
Okay.
And it would be nice to see a bit younger the game character selection, maybe somebody from the Ubisoft catalog or somebody from because they do have a better connection with them, maybe like Rayman or even the guy from Splinter Cell. I would love to get Marcus from Watch Dogs 3, but nobody likes him. But those are my guesses. What about you?
No, I agree. I think somebody from Astral Chain. I would say I wouldn't mind Farfetch'd on or actually what I would do, I would put just 5 different Pokemon. I would put the three final starters and those 2 legendaries that come out on the expansion pack.
All right. Just rounding out our Fire Emblem news, because as I said, Fire Emblem is not losing in 2020. They just announced the end of the Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC, which is Fire Emblem's side story, Sinner's Shadows. It's basically they're adding a whole nother story to it, a brand new house. And I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for this expansion. So far, they've only added like a couple of missions, some items, and a couple of clothing options. This seems like it's going to be the meatiest part of the DLC. And I'm excited to see where this story goes.
No, for sure. I completely agree.
All right. So, now let's talk about something a bit more interesting. Marcus, did you play Horizon Zero Dawn?
I did not because I heard it was bad reviews, so I didn't waste my time on it.
I don't know who told you that review. They were lying through their teeth. Horizon Zero Dawn, made by the amazing people over at Guerrilla Games. It released on my birthday a couple years ago. I actually had you get it for me. I played through the whole game. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite PlayStation games ever made. The engine that it runs on, the Decima engine, is the same engine that Death Stranding is built upon. And it's an overall really cool title, and it's been a couple of years. And with P5 coming up, PS5 coming up, there are rumors that we might get a sequel, hopefully, fingers crossed. But there's even louder rumors that the PS4 exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn will be coming to PC this year. Uh, this is according to Kotaku, of course. It is a unprecedented move because no Sony exclusive has ever come to PC. There are, I think, Death Stranding is also coming to PC. So there's been a bit of a flame war online with many hardcore Sony fans feeling betrayed that there are Sony exclusives going to PC, and of course everybody else is making fun of them like they don't care. Um, I'll be honest with you guys, I've never enjoyed the PC porting of PS4 games. Like I get why people like it, the advantage of PC over a console and what people want from a PC. I just, whenever they say, oh, we're making a PC port, even somebody who owns a very powerful PC, I do not care because the advantages that that brings to the game to me doesn't make it enough for me to purchase again or even register as news because I don't care about frame rates. And unless I'm watching a Digital Foundry video, I don't see the upgrade in graphics. So I don't really see the point in that. But again, that's just my heart. But it is going to be unprecedented to see Sony exclusives going directly to PC. And it is another step towards the game industry becoming a little bit less exclusive. Yeah. So how do you feel about this, Marcus?
I feel like it's just natural progression. I feel like we're going to be seeing more of this when it comes to next generation consoles and just them cross platforming with PCs, and it just makes more sense as consoles get more powerful. Of course, they're going to be able to transfer to PCs, and so those like Sony exclusives will be on computers, and that's just the natural progression of things. Like we're going to be seeing more of it, and I think this is just the beginning, and it's going to increase, and we're going to see more of it for years to come.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see that. Speaking of PC, speaking of the consoles, so today a report came out. Switch port dev thinks Steam, the system will still thrive after PS5 and Xbox Series X launches. This comes from Nintendo Everything. So there has been a conversation going into this next generation with both the Xbox and the PS4 getting a huge up boost in power. If the Switch, which is already not as powerful as the Xbox and PS4 and can already struggle when it comes to playing just like even like third-party titles, basic titles, it can't play it. And when it does get it, it's not always at a good frame rate or graphics, and people tend to be upset about this. The question becomes, can this system still survive without getting third-party exclusive games in the next generation? And this person who ports devs, his quote is, "In my opinion, the Nintendo Switch, like the Wii before, exists in its own dimension of the market and will continue to do well even when the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are released. As so many times before, Nintendo's consoles have their own uniqueness that doesn't depend on having the fastest processor or the largest memory. That's why I always have a smile when I hear someone saying Nintendo is done." Credits to Nintendo. People have been trying to predict its fall for generations, and it has never even come close to falling. So it's very impressive that they as the studio has been able to do this. Quite frankly, I agree with him when he says that the Switch has its own market, just because when I think about the Switch, even if it's not getting third party, like it's a system I honestly play the most because Nintendo itself puts out so many exclusives that I want to play. I play it more than my PC or my PS4. So that's my pull on this. But what about you, Marcus?
I actually agree. I think that Nintendo has its own pocket that it stays in, and it doesn't venture out of too much. I think it is going to be just fine with the next generation of consoles. My only concern about Nintendo moving forward would be their what was I say? It would be their it would actually be their internet and their gameplay and their online gameplay, just because we know with just like using just like Pokemon, for example, it's not the best online gameplay, and so they need to be able to bring that up to at least where it's more easier for you to play online and it's not as much as of a headache. So that's my only concern, but I do feel like Nintendo will be just fine.
Yeah, definitely. So, somebody hit the boss battle music. It's time to talk about next gen here at 26 in Glencoe. Marcus, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so this is how we're going to run this down. We're looking at the PS4, PS5, and the Xbox Series X. We're going to run down some of their advantages and some of their disadvantages going into the next gen, and me and you, we're gonna parse out what these companies need to do in order to stay on top. Starting with PS4, they had an amazing generation. Their biggest problems now are, of course, their lack of crossplay with other consoles. They've been the ones holding that up. There are rumors and suggestions that quite credible suggestions that the PS5 will not be as powerful as the Xbox One X series. But again, it's the same things like PS4 and like the original Xbox. It's not going to be as massive in my own opinion. And they don't have as much of a built-out service-based system as the Xbox. Running into the Xbox in this next generation, they have a beautiful service-based system with Xbox Game Pass, and with all their various services, Xbox Online. Their biggest problem is honestly exclusives. They don't have a good track record in this year. I think last year the only exclusive they put out was like Crackdown, and nobody even remembers that game. But they have purchased some brand new studios and put them up to making these exclusives. So hopefully they're able to fix that and ratify that. Marcus, how are you feeling about the two contenders this gen?
I feel like PlayStation is going to blow Xbox out of the water once again this generation, just because, like you say, exclusive PlayStation will have better games. They'll be more of a community. Although Xbox does offer more things, Xbox is limited in its capacity just because the Xbox games, the content that the Xbox put out that Microsoft has, it isn't as exciting as Sony titles. And we saw that in the past generation. We're going to see that with the next generation.
Yeah, definitely. The other problem with Xbox is all of their games come to PC day and date. Right. As opposed to PS4, where they'll at least like wait for a year, I believe. So they're dealing with the fact that, and of course, Microsoft doesn't care about that because the PC is built off of the Microsoft infrastructure. But Xbox as a company, I think we might see a transition less as a gaming system and more as a gaming platform, a collection of services, which I think is going to be an interesting way of looking at things. But it's not going to be a good way for them to build up the system itself. Also, going into this next gen, Microsoft has to, again, try and figure out a way to break into the Japanese market. You see the sales data of how much the Xbox sells in Japan. It got lapped by the Switch in like a year.
Right.
And I think right now the Xbox core systems have been outsold by the Switch. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get more JRPG fans onto the Xbox train, and that's going to be extremely difficult if they don't have the right connections. And we have seen them struggle in the past with having connections with Japanese developers. Famously, they canceled Scalebound with Platinum Games, a game I was actually very excited for. So it's going to be interesting to see if Xbox can turn it around, because so far they bought up a lot of companies to make games, but the question is, can they get those companies to make the games that we need?
Right, and I think that is a big problem. I don't know if the companies are going to come through for it.
Yeah, but that's our boss battle. That is your gaming landscape in 2020. Let's get ready for these giants to do battle in December. Are you excited, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm already gonna have a PS5, so excited for that. Just let me know when, and I'm in there.
All right. Do you got anything else to say?
I do not, no sir.
All right then. We'll see you guys next time. And if
wait, no. Actually, I have some stuff to promote. So we already this is coming out on Monday. So make sure you listen to our latest Super Flow Bros. We explain why we've been gone recently. Of course, you're listening to this, and we have 2 more podcasts coming out this week. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. So follow us on social media. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. We're trying to make 2020 the year of 26 in Glencoe. And if any of y'all got a special edition pre-order for Persona 5 Royal, hit me up in my DMs. We need to work something out. But anyway, peace.
Alright, everybody. Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta and
At one Marcus Flowers.
And we'd like to thank you for watching and listening to our content. We'd like to thank you even more if you, leave a like, a comment.
Subscribe, definitely subscribe. We need that. Subscribe, subscription.
Hey, don't forget to share with all your friends and tell us how you feel.
And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you got it from 26 Glencoe Media Network.
Keep it real.